Let's move right down to the bottom of the design. There's this white bar running across the bottom of the page, much like the top. This is the same on both designs. It's the footer for our website. So let's add a footer to our HTML. I'm going to leave some room in between the header and the footer because this is where we're going to write our content for each page. In the footer, we have a copyright notice on the right, 2 links in the middle, privacy and terms and conditions, and some social media icons on the right. We can assume that these link externally to sites such as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Let's start with the copyright notice. This is just a paragraph. It's just a line of text. Now there's a copyright symbol at the beginning of this line of text. Now in HTML, we usually write symbols in a different fashion. We could probably go and find a copyright symbol on the internet and copy and paste it into our HTML, but there's no way that that's going to show up correctly in our browser. We use this thing called HTML entities. And if you run that through Google, you'll probably find a list of all the different symbols that we can write in HTML. The one for copyright is ampersand, copy, semicolon. And as you can see, my text editor has highlighted it in a different color to show that it's an HTML entity. There's lots of these around, and we'll probably cover a couple more before we end this project. Now we can write the rest of the sentence. Now we have 2 what appear to be navigations. One with internal links to legal documentation and one with external links to social media. Again, with this navigation, you can write it as a list or not. So for the purposes of practicing, let's put this navigation not in a list because the one we had in a header was in a list. Another thing I'm going to do is add a class to this nav to differentiate it from other navigations we have in the site because we have one in the header. Let's start the class with nav, which is a good convention moving forward. Now, it's actually not advised to use a nav for things like social media links, as they are not site-specific links, they are content which links out externally. As this is the case, let's use a section for them instead. Inside that section we need a link. And this time we're going to put the icons in as images inside of that link. Again, you'll find them in the Assets folder inside Icons. Don't forget your alt text. And we can do the same for the Instagram icon as well. And for the Facebook icon. Don't forget to close our section. There's one other thing that we need to consider with these social media links. We need some text to describe what the link does. If we see the icon, this is assumed, and we have alt text describing what the image is, which it should do, but we have nothing describing what the link does. So let's add an accessibility attribute to the anchor. This is an ARIA attribute, and the one we want is label. And in here, we can describe what the link does. Let's do that for all 3 links. Great, now we have our footer. You may have noticed at this point, everything we've written is the same on the landing page. Why don't you take a break here and practice writing all of that by yourself in the landing.html file and see how you get on.